for everyone. Tonight wasn't my night. I feel great. I did great. Islam was just better to me than me tonight. And that's okay. I want everybody who loves me and supports me and wants to see me do better. I want you to know that I'm going to be back. I'm not disheartened by this. I'm bulletproof in my mind. I'll be back. I'm 28 years of age. I just fought arguably the greatest fighter we've ever seen in this sport. And I pushed him to the fucking wire. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of my team and everything that we've done. I'm so proud of what I've done in this world and who I've become. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody stopped me. Tonight was not my night. Islam, your team, congratulations. You guys did amazing. I have nothing but love and respect for everything you guys have done in this sport. I've said that to you. I'll be back. There's plenty of matchups in this sport, plenty of fun matchups that I'm excited for. We'll be back, and we'll be better than ever. I love you all.
UFC 330 just wrapped up seconds ago in the Philadelphia, as the cool kids say, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First time since 2019 that the UFC held an event there. That was a fight night event headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza in March of 2019. This time around, they come back with the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, who makes history. 17 wins in a row for Islam Makhachev. He retains his welterweight title. As GC just said, if you were watching the post show, and the watch party, tremendous job by both GC and Rick. A, for the watch party, but B, for like actually doing it in those outfits for the entire time. I mean, the dedication to the bit. Primo, fifth fighter to defend a title in two different weight classes. Perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, 17th win in a row, breaking Anderson Silva's record, which was 16 wins in a row. He did not break any title defense records or any.
He's the best. Passes guard. Ian Garry's jiu-jitsu is actually really good. One of the things that Islam's doing very well right now is he's always staying outside that lead leg each time he strikes. Or if he goes in front, he's going super wide. That's why Ian Garry's having a hard time reaching him. And Islam, when he gets close, he starts creeping outside that lead leg. It's because his head's in the outside. That's why each time Ian Garry's able to do that defense. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. Keep wrestling. He's got to beat this time. You got it. Good job. Yep. Gets it back. Good job. Could be 3-1, but it all depends on the judges saw that last round. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he has to do it with urgency because that's where he did most of his damage against Islam Makhachev. So in reality, it's actually good.
I'm there. Look, he did what he had to do and was really tested in ways that we haven't seen him tested before. I mean, it was a difficult fight. Although he won by, a good margin, a healthy margin, there was moments where you're used to Islam having a certain amount of control and dominance that he just didn't seem to have.
Yep.
Over the bigger guys. And This is the question. As he's moved up to 170, there's some guys like Morales that are absolutely gigantic. And what happens if he fights those guys? The gap is bigger than it is with Ian Garry. Ian, again, out of the 10 victories that he's had inside the octagon, he's only had 3 stoppages.
Yep.
Morales killed.
Just boring fuck, dude. He landed a head kick in round 2, and other than that, he did nothing! For 20 minutes! He did fucking nothing! Perfect. That's the truth! 0! He caught him with a head kick in round 2, and other than that, he did fucking nothing! The whole fight!
Rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that 5th round, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. you don't come out and hug and shake hands. And that shit drives me fucking crazy, when there's so much at stake. And there's also, you know, a lot of mental, you know, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that fifth round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, fuck.
UFC 330 just wrapped up seconds ago in the Philadelphia, as the cool kids say, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First time since 2019 that the UFC held an event there. That was a fight night event headlined by Justin Gaethje versus Edson Barboza in March of 2019. This time around, they come back with the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev, who makes history. 17 wins in a row for Islam Makhachev. He retains his welterweight title. As GC just said, if you were watching the post show, and the watch party, tremendous job by both GC and Rick. A, for the watch party, but B, for like actually doing it in those outfits for the entire time. I mean, the dedication to the bit. Primo, fifth fighter to defend a title in two different weight classes. Perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, 17th win in a row, breaking Anderson Silva's record, which was 16 wins in a row. He did not break.
I felt like tonight was set up for the upset. I felt like the upset could happen tonight with so much on the line, all the records that Islam has, and he's going to break Anderson Silva's record. There's weight classes for a reason. Ian Garry is a big, rangy, strong guy who has great takedown defense. I mean, if you look at his takedown defense tonight against Islam, it was impressive. I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct in that fifth round, you know, he had been beating him to the body. Islam's whole, I think, right side was beat up. His face was beat up. You don't come out and hug and shake hands, and that shit drives me fucking crazy, when there's so much at stake, and there's also you know, a lot of mental, you know, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it in this game. You come out in that fifth round with a flying knee or something crazy and you try to finish the fight. I think that this is one of those fights that Ian will go back and watch and say, fuck, wish I could do that over again. You know, if he came out and tried to destroy and win that last round, you know, with everything that he had, I think it's a totally different fight. Islam went out, you know, it's a complete opposite now, against a bigger, strong, rangy guy who has good takedown defense, controlled him, shut him down. I don't know if he was in his head and Ian felt like he had to come out and shake hands in the fifth round or whatever, but, you know, Islam did exactly what he needed to do to win that fight. When I went in after the fight and Ian Garry came over and shook my hand, Ian Garry's handshake is like a fucking vice grip, you know, and he is a big, powerful, rangy guy. And, you know, for Islam to go in and do what he did to him tonight, you know, physical and mental. If you to come out of that fucking corner like a raging fucking bull, you know, we might be having a different conversation right now.
Do you feel like Ian's too nice to his opponents? At the press conference, he wanted to build Islam up. He's been nice about him all week.
I think that Ian's a classy guy is what I think. And, you know, he always shows class. He did, you know, before the fight, he goes over and shakes, you know, all the corners' hands and all that stuff. It's great. But when that fucking bell rings, you got to switch. You got to switch all that shit off and go. And you definitely got to do it in the fifth round after the, you know, he fought a great fight against Islam, who, you know, everybody in this room and everybody else is saying, well, we might start talking about GOAT. You don't go shake the fucking GOAT's hand going into the fifth round. You come out to fucking annihilate him. I mean, that just has to be your mindset, in my humble opinion.
No, what I'm saying is you cannot ride off a guy that is 6'3", can get him to his feet, uses the jab, and then kicks the lead leg very, very well. You know, will Islam take him down? Yes. Now, could Islam control him in Dagestani? I mean, that to me, that's the biggest answer, because when it comes to the feet too, he as much as people do not like him, as much as like you cannot hate on the competitive spirit that this dude have. He probably doesn't finish people like people want to, but he does get his hand raised. I mean, he did it to look a guy like MVP. A guy like MVP is very hard to fight. I'm just saying that different stylistic fight than a guy like Islam Makhachev. But remember, man, like he's a bigger welterweight too, man. And I just feel like people are really counting out Ian Garry out, and that wouldn't so damn much. This dude believes that. I mean, he's got a space on his wall saying he's going to do it, but
Whereas Kamaru Usman had warned that simply keeping the fight standing wouldn't have been enough for Ian Garry to beat Islam Makhachev. He explained that Islam had been exceptional at controlling distance, slipping away from pressure and forcing opponents to fight at his pace while constantly threatening a level change. Usman compared it to a rhythm Islam had perfected, keeping fighters directly in front of him and making them react entirely on his terms. Unless Garry could disrupt that rhythm and drag Islam outside his comfort zone, Usman had struggled to see how he could win, especially because Islam had also possessed dangerous and seriously underrated striking on the feet.
Very good at being able to slide back, slide to the side, just keep you at that range because you can't rush him. If you rush him, I change levels, I put you down. And so it keeps guys there, and you just kind of, Islam does this thing, and I remember there was at one point where I was just kind of there. When I do this dance where you just kind of hypnotize everybody. They just stay right in front of you. They just do what you want. They just move into your rhythm, move into your dance. And Islam does such a phenomenal job right now at that. It's almost like he's not getting out of third gear. He just kind of stays in third gear. And if Ian Garry cannot get him out of third gear, I'm sorry. I just don't see how he gets it done. Just staying on your feet alone is not enough because Islam's not bad on his feet. He's not. Islam has really good striking. So that I just don't think that alone, I don't think is enough to.
With that in mind, Max Holloway also believed the fight would be far more competitive than most people expected. He believed Garry's reach could trouble Islam Makhachev during the opening 2 rounds, as Islam would have needed time to properly gauge the distance. But Holloway felt that as the fight continued, the advantage would increasingly swing toward Islam. Holloway expected a vintage Makhachev performance, with Islam taking control through relentless pressure, dominant top position, and punishing ground strikes. If Islam could close the distance, pin Garry against the cage, and successfully...
People are giving Ian no shot, which is blowing my mind. I think this is going to be a way more competitive fight than people think. I think early on, it's 5 rounds. Early on, I think so in the first 2 rounds, I think so Islam is going to have problems with Ian's reach, just trying to figure him out. At the end of the day, the longer the fight goes on, Islam only gets stronger. I think so if Islam can get his hands on him, Islam can drag him down, and we're just going to see a vintage Makhachev victory, you know. Does he submit him? I don't know. Maybe he just pressure him, get on top, controls, you know, some ground and pound here and there. I think the fight is going to be super competitive in the first 2 rounds, and then once Islam figure out that reach, and cuts Ian off and gets him against the cage and drag him to the ground, I think so Makhachev is going to...
And when you consider everything we just heard, this fight might actually reveal more about Islam Makhachev than another quick submission or completely dominant performance ever could. Because Ian Machado Garry entered this fight with many of the exact tools people believed could finally create serious problems for Islam. He was bigger. He was longer. He had strong takedown defense. He was comfortable fighting from range. And unlike many of Islam's previous opponents, he wasn't completely overwhelmed the moment Islam started trying to impose his wrestling. There were moments when Garry made Islam work. There were moments when Islam didn't have the same effortless